Good afternoon and good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and coffee stream number 155. And it's Friday, which means it's Friday guest day. And today with me, I have Moonshock. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good. I hope everybody else is doing well.
So, what we usually do here on Fridays is we do kind of a mixed matched interview, conversation, and news reaction. So it's kind of a less. I don't usually cover as much news on Friday guest day as I do with my other streams. But we do some news, we do some conversation, and we just see how it goes. So most people here are from the Minions group and the Lords of the Night group and stuff. So most of them are pretty familiar with what's been going on with you. So how are you feeling lately?
I've been great. The last
Good.
week has probably been the best I felt since my first chemo treatment, and I've got one coming up next Wednesday, so it gets to start all over again.
Well, I'm glad you're doing well. I saw on Twitter you were not feeling your best
Oh yeah,
the
the,
couple days after.
the first couple of days were they were just terrible. The first day afterwards, Thursday, I don't even remember that day anymore. I actually went back and looked at my tweets, and I saw I actually had posted that day, but I don't remember making any of those tweets. It was crazy.
Wow.
Right, and it just seemed like one thing after the other too, whereas this part of the misery would end, another part would start up, and then that would end, another part would start up. The whole weekend afterwards was just nothing but bone pain and joint
Oh.
pain. It was horrible.
Well, I hope that with each round that it doesn't I hope it doesn't get worse, but
Right. Hell, let me address something real quick. Duck Dog, you must know more about me than I think you do, so I'm gonna keep that I'm gonna keep that in the back of my mind and ask you some questions later.
I missed what Duck Dog said.
He said, "Where's the world's biggest scuba club? Muff Ireland, the Muff Divers."
Okay.
Actually, that is true, though. They actually do have a very world-class diving team called the Muff Divers there, because they're
Alrighty
actually
then.
well, there is a small town in Ireland, in the north of Ireland, called Muff, Muff. So yeah, go figure, huh?
That's just goes to show you that names mean different things in different parts of the world.
Absolutely.
Like for here, muff is another word for,
The nether
the
regions.
nether regions. There, fanny is the word for the nether
Right.
regions. I actually saw that I didn't grab this article, but I saw that there's a cyclone in India right now called
hmm
Cyclone Fanny, and that just made me giggle
I
to
saw that last
myself.
night. I saw last night. I was just laughing. Cyclone Fanny. So you get your ass kicked by Cyclone Fanny. Got it.
Yeah.
But
Front hole, says Mr. Misanthropic.
all right. So what do we got? I mean, did you want to ask me some more questions, or do you want to do some news and then just kind of back
um,
and forth?
so what do you I'm gonna do a bit more questions.
Sure.
What do you do without doxing yourself for work?
Me, I'm a reporting analyst. I work for a recruiting firm, and I do both a reporting, and I also do some auditing too to make sure that our recruiters are doing the job they're supposed to be doing and making sure they're getting their acquisitions and requisitions done correctly. And then I also do a bunch of reporting for our upper management as well. So it's very, very Excel heavy as far as
Ah,
spreadsheets and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, when you had talked to me earlier, off air about spreadsheet heavy, I'm like, yeah, I'd probably be good at that at that particular game. When you said you said you had played Eve, so I'm like, oh, and then you said spreadsheet. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, cool.
yeah, it is it was the world's prettiest spreadsheet. They've updated it now to make it a bit more sparkly and inviting for younger players. And we don't play anymore, but
Right.
we did used to play a lot of Eve. Um,
Yeah. The MMORPGs I've always liked. So, I started with EverQuest, and that's you're one of 72 people in a full raid, and that's a lot of people that you have to manage. And I was actually a raid leader for a while, but it got really intense. And then people were just like, "I don't want you as our raid leader anymore." And I'm like, "Okay, fine, bye." So I just left. It's like if the second people don't want me there, I'm just gonna leave. So I'm all right. I don't need to argue my spot. I just don't care. Yeah, I mean, I did care, but from a point of view of if I have people that are going to be dissenting as far as I don't like what you do, I don't like the way you do this, then I'm going to be like, no problem. I'll abdicate if you want me to, and somebody else filled the spot right away. And it just so happened that they liked him better. It's not that I had bad leadership or bad ways of doing particular bosses. It's just the dynamics changed, and they added so many different ways of class abilities, different positioning and whatnot. It just became more than one person should be able to handle. So they actually kept me around as a raid assistant as opposed to a leader. And the person that
Okay.
took the leadership, he said, "Yeah, it's good that we have a leader
Yeah.
than an assistant." And then we were quite successful. And then the game kind of died, and I went from EverQuest to World of Warcraft, and then the rest is history. So
Real quick, I'm gonna say hi to chat. Hi,
sure.
Skeptalk. Hello, Martin H. Hello, Mr. Misanthropic. Hello, all you need.
Mm.
Let's see who else is here. Um,
Rolling
oh,
Bear.
Martin H. I will give the Discord link out near the end of the stream.
Hmm.
Duck Dog, Rolling Bear, Arm Skiller, Izoob. Um, Hi everybody. Thanks for coming out. I love this chat. This chat's really cool. I have a cool chat.
Indeed.
Um, so before we got on live, you mentioned you met
Mhm.
your wife through WoW.
I did. I did. It was definitely not intended. She was. This was actually in the Lich King expansion, and I was one of the two tanks that the damage absorbers for those who aren't familiar with that term.
Mhm.
I was one of the two, and we both used paladin tanks. Or I'm sorry, the two tanks were paladins, and the raid leader or guild leader, he actually wanted to use a warrior instead of a paladin. That way, you know, just to see what happens because there's different dynamics with the two classes. So what they did was went ahead and they found somebody, find a warrior, and I had really gotten used to being that second tank, and I was not happy being kind of pushed out of the spot. So I see this person come in, and the character is just sitting there in the instance, and I just I got really angry. So what I did was I targeted the character and just did slash glare over and over and over again, and then all the next thing you see is just spam such and such glares at you, such and such glares at you, and all of a sudden I get a private whisper from her, and she goes, what's the matter? What's wrong? And then the very first words I ever said to her was, "You took my tanking spot."
That's my spot.
Yeah, well, because I went from being a tank to a healer, and I hated being a healer, and I had to be her healer. So it's not like do I let her die or do I let her stay alive just to make sure that her warrior abilities. But then again, if I let her die, then the rest of us die too. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to allow her to live for a little bit longer. But at any rate, we just kind of struck up a conversation over the course of that day and that night, and then we just kind of kept talking the next couple of days. And I was a really big lore person. Like I love the lore of World of Warcraft and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So we would go to different places, different zones, and then we just kind of sit there for a little bit, and I would just tell her about the lore of each zone. Come to find out later, she's like, "You know what? I really don't care about this stuff." So I'm sitting here like, "So we sat here for the last couple of hours where I'm geeking out telling you about this stuff, and you don't care about it?" She goes, "Yeah, that's about right." So like, then what's the point? And she just goes, "Well, I didn't want to tell you no." So we just kind of kept. I mean, she eventually joined the guild that we're in, and we we just kind of rated back and forth. We would kind of swap positions. Then it turned out that the guild leader, he went from being a tank to a damage dealer. So it was me and her that were the two tanks.
Oh,
So now it's like, okay, so let's see back and forth how we're doing. And we also had, um, I think it was Skype, wasn't it, in the background? We had
yeah,
Skype going, so
probably.
we were talking to each other. That way we'd be able to discuss, what to do, what position to take, when to take aggro and whatnot. And we did that really well. And it just turned out that, hey, things are great. Things are great. And we kept talking, kept talking, kept talking. And then she's like, you know what? I kind of like this guy. Should I tell her what you really felt, darling? She's sitting there on the other couch. She, she goes, I got to be honest with you. And I'm like, uh-oh. And she goes, at first I thought you were gay. And I'm like, what? And she goes, and then she says, well, because you use such the proper spelling, capitalization, grammar. And I'm like, so? And she goes, people don't do that in these kind of games. They use shortcuts. They use, like, instead of YOU, they use the letter U. They don't capitalize. They don't use
Yeah.
proper grammar. And I'm like, what does that have to do with anything? And she goes, I don't know. So I'm
Lead
like,
speak.
yes. And then she goes, well, and the thing is, I wasn't in the position to talk to anybody or to get to know anybody or get to date anybody. And I'm like, well, I thanks, I think. So, so that yeah, so we just kept talking, and yeah, everything's cool. Everything's cool. I mean, we started growing together a lot, and then at the time I lived in Oregon, and she lived here in Michigan. So she came out to visit me, and that was basically where it kind of cemented it because we didn't want to say I love you,
Yeah.
you know, without having seen each other first. So we just kind of said +3. That was our kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when we finally got together and we kind of spent a couple of days and this feels great. This
Yeah.
feels right. And see, we finally said that. And then um so she had to come back to Michigan. Then that next year I came out to help her sell her mom's house. And ultimately it didn't sell, but I had to go back to Oregon to finish up my contract. And then that Christmas my contract expired. So I'm like, I've got nothing here in Oregon. So I'm just going to go ahead and pack up and move out here to Michigan. And that year, we kind of, let's see, got engaged. I got my job, and on my birthday, all on the same one. That's our anniversary of our engagement, my birthday, and my first day on the new job. So I got a job pretty quickly, a really good paying job too. Well, not the one I'm currently at, but something else. But it just kind of snowballed from there, and we got married that July. So we knew each other for about a year-ish, a year and a half. But roughly about a year and a half before her taking my tanking spot to getting married. So
That's a
it's
cool story, man.
not a whole lot of people actually meet online and stay that way, but I'm actually quite glad it happened. But yeah, but that's the deal. So now you know, and now everyone knows. So everybody out there, yeah. By the way, I'm just saying. Nah,
See, I think there's something to be said for meeting people online. I think not everyone you meet online is an insane person.
right.
I think
Hey,
you can meet some great people online.
right.
Um, it's just like any way you meet people in life, there's nowhere that you're not going to meet a jerk, but there's
Oh,
also
yeah.
nowhere that you're not going to find a really cool person.
And that's the thing, and the funny thing is before the cancer thing, I was very, very private. I would just, nope, I don't want anybody to know anything about me. I don't need to know any. I don't know what it was that it just cracked the shell, and all of a sudden I'm out talking to everybody.
Yeah.
It changes a person. It really does, and it's changed me. And I'm a lot more easily open with myself, and I don't volunteer everything, but I do volunteer more now than I used to. It's just depends on who's asking the question too. I mean, if I don't know you and you ask me, I'm like, I'm not going to tell you. So I might tell you a lie or three, but I'm not going to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
But by and large, I don't mind. I don't mind telling people the truth as long as it's somebody I feel I can trust. And a lot of the people that I've gotten to know on Lords of the Night and on your coffee streams and other places, minions and whatnot, they're a lot of great people, so I don't have any problems whatsoever with helping them out with any information that they might need about me.
Yeah, it's You can meet some really interesting people doing streams.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. So what shall we do now?
well, so what's your type of hobby that you like to do? Like, what do you dig other than World of Warcraft?
Actually, I stopped playing WoW probably a couple years ago. But our latest, my I've also fallen in love with 7 Days to Die. But thing is, I'm on almost 365 days straight in that game now,
Oh
as far
wow.
as the in-game days. And it's
Yeah.
just gotten to the point where it's kind of boring now. All I do now is I just go around and fix up the old decrepit houses and make them look pretty, and kill zombies along the way. So like it does get kind of boring. However, I'm also playing. I've also gotten into playing tabletop games.
Okay.
We got this new one called Mansions of Madness.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's awesome, and plus we also play the other one that's called the Massive Darkness.
Are you a
Um,
Warhammer guy?
I've never played 40K, believe it or not.
Okay.
I know what it is, and I know what the miniatures look like and everything. But these games here, they also have miniatures. They've also got the tiles and whatnot that you use. But as far as Zombicide too is the other one too.
Okay.
So there's Massive Darkness, Zombicide, and Mansions of Madness that we're currently playing. We've looked into a couple of the others, but we just didn't feel like they were our kind of thing. But by and large, these are the new hobbies that we've got going on, and these games take hours and hours
Yeah.
and hours to
Yeah.
play. But the last one we played was a scenario that took almost 8 hours to finish.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 2 different sessions, of course. We didn't play for 8 straight hours, but we have before. And she actually liked it, and I do too. And it is quite fun, albeit very frustrating sometimes, but it is what it is. Yeah, D&D. D&D is greater than every other game.
Pincalo and I met through video games too.
Did you?
First we met we met through an ex-girlfriend, actually, a mutual ex-girlfriend.
Okay then.
Um, but we actually met in person
Oh,
at a cyber cafe.
nice.
He was playing a CS Source tournament,
Hmm.
and I came in with said ex to play on the Xbox. I'm a Soul Calibur girl,
Nice.
and he saw her first, and like he's got a big voice, so I heard him across the room going, "Oh, god damn it!" But then I hear him go, "Hey guys, hold on a second." And then he gets up and he comes over and he watches me play for a few minutes, and he goes, "Man, she's cute and she can game." And that was the first night we talked on the phone for for hours that night.
Wow.
And then a month later, we met up again, and that night we ended up both asking each other out at the exact same time.
Oh, jeez,
And that
nice.
was 12 years ago.
Wow, that's impressive. No, we've been together for about 7 years. It'll be 7 years this July. But
Oh,
yeah,
Martin H says League of Legends.
League
I've
of
heard of
Legends.
that game. I haven't
I've never played.
played
I've
it.
never played it before, but I've also heard of it, and I've never played Dungeons and Dragons either. Sorry.
My
But,
father was a huge Dungeons and Dragons guy.
oh yeah.
He actually legally changed his name to his D&D character. I'm not shitting you.
That is interesting.
Yeah, he'll deny it.
Yeah.
He'll deny that it's not his D&D character, but my mom's like, "I was your girlfriend when you were playing D&D, dude. Who are you trying to fool?"
Thank you, Martin H. He says, I hope your chemo goes well, Moonshock, and I appreciate that. Thank you. I am as well. I've got a good support team, and I'm still a little bit nervous about going back, considering how the last round went. But this will be my second round, and I'll be halfway through once it's done. But
So you only get 4 rounds?
4 rounds. Originally, my oncologist said to start with 4 rounds of the 3 chemical cocktail, and possibly up to 6 of them.
Okay.
But after the first round, as far as I'm concerned, 4 is going to be my limit. But thing is, one of the 3 chemicals that they're going to be using, I'll have to be on that one for a year.
Oh,
Yeah, because of one of the receptor tests that I got that came back positive. So that one will have to be on for a year. That's called Herceptin, Herceptin, Herceptin. That's because of the HER2 positive result that I got.
okay.
But outside of that, the other 2 chemicals, Taxotere and carboplatin, those are the other 2 that are the ones that are basically kicking my ass. But oh my God, Neulasta. Let me tell you something about Neulasta. Neulasta is it helps with, oh gosh, like white blood cells and whatnot, because the chemo itself, it actually kills, or not kills completely, but it prevents your body's ability from making like fast growing cells like white blood cells, red blood cells, platelets, your hair follicles, your fingernails, etc. But
Okay.
those are the what they do is they give me a Neulasta time release that after 27 hours after my chemo, it automatically starts releasing the medication. That's the worst though. It
Yeah.
not it released the medication, but the side effects of the Neulasta,
Mm.
the bone and joint pain is the worst. It hurts so much, and I've had gout before, so I know what gout feels like. It is so painful, but not nearly as painful, but very, very close. And we're talking like debilitating bone pain that I'm like, I'm just on my, I'm on my back for a good couple of days because of it.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
And what
So,
do you like? What is there anything they give you to help with the pain, or do you just have to suffer?
you can actually take Claritin to help out with some of the side effects. Claritin is actually an allergy pill, if I recall correctly. And yeah, believe it or not, an allergy pill actually helps out with some of the pain.
Huh.
And then other than that, you can also take just like over the counter, like ibuprofen or Tylenol.
Interesting.
But yeah, I've been prescribed no opioids of any kind, no heavy stuff, which I don't really like anyway. I'm not that big of an opioid kind of person anyway. I've never
Yeah.
finished a prescription of those anyway. But no, it's everything's okay. I mean, everything's in line, and I got my last labs back, and my cell levels or cell count's pretty high. My platelet count's a little bit lower than normal,
Mm.
but that's to be expected. But it's not dangerously low.
Well,
But,
I'm glad that I hope that things continue to improve for you. That
nice.
you don't have to keep getting these.
Well, the thing is, my oncologist did say that I am officially cancer free, quote unquote cancer free.
Right.
The chemo is to make sure that they might just to make sure that anything that may have been missed gets eradicated. It's more of like a preventative measure, and I won't need any radiation, thank God. But the chemo regimen is just to make sure that anything that might have been missed by the surgery is going to be affected and eliminated. So I won't have to worry about that afterwards. And I did have a genetic test taken, which came back negative. Also, thank God, because that means my family won't have to worry about it, and the cancer stops with me.
Good.
So. Yeah, and Duck Dog, you're correct. Antihistamines can also help with long-term acid reflux. I had a problem with that as well. It was really bad the couple of days afterwards. I do remember that because anything that I ate just gave me the worst acid reflux. It was really painful. So I took some of those, and it did help a little bit. But by and large, certain foods I just can't have anymore. And my taste actually has been affected as well. I can't taste foods the same way either.
I didn't realize it would affect so many things.
Oh, it does. I didn't either, but to be honest with you. I mean, I read up on all the side effects on all these drugs, and there are side effects that you really you don't get informed about. And some of them I'm actually experiencing. And then, well, the thing is, everybody's experience is going to be different. Your side
Yeah.
effects are going to be different. Some people breeze through it with little to no side effects. Other people, they get their asses kicked, and I'm probably more on the side of getting my ass kicked by it. But after the first week, I was okay. The
Good.
first week was just a week of hell. And
Yeah.
then the next 2 weeks afterwards, they give you as a kind of a recovery time. And it went really well these last couple of weeks. I mean, right now I feel better than I have in I guess you could say 3 weeks.
Great.
But
Oh, that's good.
but yeah, I mean, I'm feeling much, much better. Wikipedia snippet says Prozac can also affect the sense of taste. To be honest with you, and I'm not trying to make excuses or anything, but I am trying not to have to rely on any kind of mood altering drugs.
Yeah.
Even though I was very depressed and very upset and very kind of really had dark thoughts, and I had nightmares were the worst. I was plagued with nightmares for probably the first week before I was put on a sleep aid. And the nightmares are so bad that I would wake up not or feeling like I hadn't slept at all. And I had family members die in my nightmares. I died a couple of times in my nightmares. My wife died. Any friends that I've had. I mean, there was just so much constant, just dark stuff that happened in them that I just woke up just feeling like just complete hell, night sweats. Sometimes I'd wake up with tears in my eyes. It was horrible. It was just a hell on earth, if you can imagine that. As a result of really bad nightmares, that would
Yeah.
be me waking up every single morning or in the middle of the night and not being able to get back to sleep. So sleep was not an easy thing, but with the sleep aids I'm on now, thankfully they're non-habit forming. I haven't had any nightmares since, so I'm very thankful for that.
I can't no sleep aid. I've tried many a sleep aid because when
Mhm.
you're blind, a lot of blind people suffer from insomnia and depression
Really?
because they don't get the proper their internal clock is messed up
Mm.
because visually, if you're totally blind, you don't get the visual cue, sun going down, okay, brain release melatonin now.
It throws off your circadian rhythm?
Yeah, it completely throws off your circadian rhythm, and then, because you're not sleeping properly, your serotonin levels are all screwed up, your dopamine levels are all screwed up.
Wow.
So a lot of blind people suffer from insomnia and depression.
Man,
Um,
my condolences on that.
and I've been put on many sleep aids, and they just don't work for me.
Really?
Like, they work for one night, and then they just don't work anymore.
You just
Um,
you adapt to them that quickly?
I do. So honestly, the only thing that helps me sleep is pot.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it the THC containing or just, like a CBD?
It's the THC
Okay.
containing.
Well, hey, you gotta do what works though,
Yeah.
so I don't blame you. Um, now, do you sleep, like, regularly though, like 8 hours, or are you talking about, like, maybe 4 hours broken up here, 4 hours broken up there, or
Since I smoke regularly now, I can sleep a full um I can sleep a full 7 or 8 hours.
Nice. Very
But
good.
before I was smoking regularly, it would take a few hours to get to sleep, and then I would wake up very easily, and then it would take me forever to get back to sleep, and honestly, the best way I could describe it would be hamsters on squeaky wheels,
Hmm,
just your
right.
mind never shuts up.
I am. Well, let's see. I've been known to do that. Oh, I'm talking in a physical sense too. I've never been known to shut up sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I look over at her and she just kind of rolls her eyes at me as I say that. Yeah, I couldn't imagine. Well, I can imagine now, but I was always a person that I could sleep between 5 and 8 hours and be okay. Any more than that, I'm not really that big of a sleep person when it comes to more than 8 hours and 8 hours a night, even more than 7 hours, because I just feel like I've just wasted the day away, or wasted the night away or the morning. I've always been a morning person, and she can sleep until like noon or so, and she's like, "Not a problem," and I'm like, "I can't sleep till noon," because that's like half the day is gone.
Yep.
So I can get to bed around maybe 10 or 11. Oh, usually 11 because I usually go to bed right after the hours of the night, and then just kind of sleep until about 7 ish, and then get ready for work, and then start work at 8 o'clock. But yeah, I've even on weekends. I mean, I'm up at like 7 o'clock, so I don't even sleep in on weekends when I have to. Um, But yeah, I can imagine not being able to get the sleep that you desire or that you need. And the let's see, the night after my first chemo, I slept like maybe 2 hours,
Yeah.
and within a 48-hour period, I got maybe 6 hours of sleep tops. So it's horrible, and it was horrible, and I think that's also what contributed to, the nightmares, the restlessness, just being in overall misery. It was just
Yeah.
it was awful, completely awful. But yeah,
So
so
Nancy Pelosi is being ridiculous.
oh god.
She's accusing Attorney General Barr of committing a crime.
Mm,
I'm not entirely sure what crime possibly. So let's see.
okay.
U.S. Attorney William Barr said on Wednesday he would not attend the hearing of the Democratic House-led judiciary um, and this is about the questioning format that it will be taking.
Hmm.
Um, so congressional Democrats stepped up pressure on U.S. President Donald Trump's administration on Thursday as the House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi accused Attorney General William Barr of committing a crime um, when an influential committee chairman threatened to hold Mr. Barr in contempt of Congress. In a defiant letter released on Thursday, the White House said that Mr. Trump has the right to instruct advisors not to testify before congressional oversight probes related to the special counsel probe Robert Mueller's Russia investigation, and called Mueller's report on the matter defective.
Hmm.
So
I don't like Pelosi. I've never liked
I
Pelosi.
don't like Pelosi either.
She's got, I don't know what's wrong with her skin, but she looks like it's made of wax. She looks like she can be in a wax museum and perfectly fit in there, just pose forever, and she would look like she belonged. But um, this is why I tend to avoid a little bit of politics, because
Yeah.
I get a little bit more vocal than I should, maybe a little bit more opinionated than I should.
Oh,
But
here on the coffee stream, we get very opinionated.
oh, good, then never mind. Well, I think that, well, isn't there kind of a gap or a divide between AOC and Pelosi's gang too? Because
There is, yes. The Democrats are eating themselves right now.
it was meant to happen anyway, you
Yeah.
know, and also I don't understand what I have never seen so much venom toward a sitting president before in the history of all my years. And I mean, I'm 45 and I've been through many presidential administrations.
Yeah.
I have never seen so much hatred toward a president than there is right now.
From the outset,
Yes.
like from the get-go, there's been just vitriol. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like somebody like Nixon, he deserved the end that he got,
Right.
but even with Nixon, there was not outright outset from the very inauguration. I can speak, I swear. Um, he wasn't hated from his inauguration going forward. He
Right.
earned it. You know what I mean? This the hatred for Trump is just because he exists.
Yes, yeah. And even throughout the election, I mean, he had, I mean, I I hesitate to use the term high energy, but he really was. He was really high energy. He went to a ton of places to campaign. I mean, he was just jumping across the map, going everywhere that he felt he needed to go and rallying his people behind him. But then again, at a Trump rally, you see nothing but these big hordes of anti-Trump haters that are closing it down because, oh, he's such a hater, he's Hitler, he's everything, he's the worst thing ever.
Yes.
But yeah, Arms Killer Arms Killer says, I see what you're saying. She looks like a bitch out of Madame Tussauds. But yeah, Pelosi does looks like she can be one of Madame Tussauds wax figures and actually fit in there without anything necessary to be added to her. But yeah, it's just the amount of hatred that I've seen, and they always accuse the right of being the ones that are, we're the racists, we're the Nazis, we're the haters. But all we're seeing the hate coming from is the left.
Yep.
Give me a good example of anybody on the right that is showing anywhere near as much hatred as these people seem to be, saying that they are. And, show me a good example and I will eat my words right now. But I have yet to see one because they don't exist. Yes, yeah, I'm sure there are some people on the right that are jackasses that don't exactly have the right opinion about things. But then again, that's what's great about America. You can have your own opinion, but in
Yeah.
public office, that's not always the best thing in the world. However, just the amount of immaturity, the the vitriol, as you said, there's just so much hatred coming from one side, and there's just nothing but toleration from the right. It's going to come to a point where the right's going to stop tolerating this crap and say, look, you guys need to shut up, and we're going to if you don't stop, we're going to start doing stuff that you're not going to want us to do. And
Yeah.
then of course that's what the left's going to be used as, like, see, I told you, hater. It's almost like they're putting gas in the tank and just waiting for it to explode.
Mr. Misanthropic says, and Nixon actually committed a crime. Yes.
Yeah, and I also love how, didn't they call Ben Shapiro a Nazi as well? I mean, the guy himself is Jewish. Tell me how that happens again?
Yeah.
Or even the people that were, and I know, like, just the folks that just got banned off of Facebook and Instagram. Louis Farrakhan is one of them.
Yeah.
And they're saying he's with the right? I don't think so.
No.
So I guess you had to throw a trump card in there, no pun intended, as just to make it look like, hey, we're not completely one-sided. But so I guess that would have been one of the people that they felt would have deserved it the most. But I mean, come on, people. This is a free country. Everybody should have a voice. And I also feel like these huge corporations that are social media, they don't have the right to censor anybody. Yes, private corporation. However, they've also received money from the government, which also means that they should not be able to silence people just because.
And they're traded publicly on
Exactly.
Like members of the public can own stock in these companies.
Right.
They have now become public companies.
Yeah, so you have one small board of people on this publicly traded company making the decisions of Lord knows how many people that own stock.
Yeah.
So you have a handful of people making the decisions of a horde of people that own that company. How is that even anywhere near fair when it comes to treating people equally? They keep saying equal rights, equal rights. Then how about equal rights for everybody that has a voice? And I'm not talking necessarily from the gender point of view. I'm talking equal rights of, let me speak my mind. I'll let you speak your mind. Yet everybody seems to think that your voice is louder than mine.
Yeah.
There's a dichotomy here that just isn't working because they're always favoring one side rather than the other. And it's in no way, shape, or form any kind of fair. And I'm sitting back and watching, but I'm really getting tired of seeing it. It's ridiculous, and they keep getting their way because these corporations are citing where the money's going. Everything is always about the money. If we're going to censor you because if we don't, these people are going to stop funding us, then hey, look, we're basically going to be shooting our own feet. And we don't want to do that because we need those dollars to stay in business. So how are we going to be able to get this going, or how are we going to continue functioning if we don't side with the side that's going to get us money in our pockets ultimately?
Yeah.
So you got to weigh the good with the bad, and unfortunately, the bad is also where the political correctness is. You can only have so much political correctness before it just spills over and it gets ridiculously overflowing.
Yeah.
And that's basically as far as I think that we're at that stage now, and it's going to start, a backflow is going to start, and they're not going to be ready for it. And like you had said earlier, they're eating themselves.
Yeah.
Because once you finish off your victim, all you have left is your own side.
Yep.
And if you are nothing but in attack mode all the time, like they seem to be, you're going to start going after each other, and there's going to be nothing left. So there's no real good checks and balances here that I can really see on their side that's keeping them in a more passive situation instead of attack, attack, attack. Whereas the right's more like, hey, we're just doing business as usual. It's you guys are the ones that seem to be
Yeah.
Hey, look, let's be aggressive. Let's accuse them of this, even though they've done absolutely nothing and we can't prove it. But hey, we're going to do it anyway.
And yes, Blind Girl, you are correct. Louis Farrakhan, while being a left winger, was the only one out of the four band that was actually proclaiming or saying or inciting violence.
Right.
Which was our point, was that they had to at least pick one lefty.
Right.
To put in there, and the left is being more violent than the right, which is what we were saying. So
precisely. And I mean, I don't mean to be speaking so much. I do apologize. I have a tendency to take over, and I honestly don't mean to. I'm just gonna say one last thing on this, and that they got rid of Alex Jones. Why? I mean, yeah, he might have violated some kind of a copyright, but the guy he has his own opinions, but he was never violent toward anybody. He was never quote unquote dangerous. I mean, they got rid of Paul Joseph Watson. Why? Because he's dangerous. They got rid of, what is so dangerous about this? Because they go against the grain, against what the message that they want.
Yep.
So I don't understand what it is that is so dangerous about these people. There is zero dangerous about them. Yeah, Green Thunder. They're turning the freaking frogs gay. Yeah. I actually had subscribed to Alex Jones's channel just to see some of the stuff. The guy cracked me up. He is hilarious.
Love when he goes on Joe Rogan. Oh my god, I can't stand to listen to it, but at the same time, I can't turn it off.
Yeah. It's a dumpster fire of awesomeness sometimes on that show, but I love it. I just love watching that kind of stuff, and some of the things I kind of agree with. Other things, but he's not dangerous. Paul Joseph Watson's not dangerous. There's nothing dangerous about what they say, because a lot of times Paul Joseph Watson, he might be saying some stuff that's more along the lines of his opinion, but he's like the antithesis of what's being told by the mainstream. And I guess that's where your danger comes from, because oh my God, can't heaven forbid we actually go against what the mainstream says. Can't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I hate one-sidedness. One-sidedness is horrible, and that's exactly what we're seeing. And it just irks me. So okay, I'm done on that.
So apparently these statements from both sides are marking a sharp escalation in the conflict between the White House and the Democrats in Congress. And they accuse the Republican president of democracy. So I don't. This is the.
Oh, you're popular.
What is this here? Barr's Senate testimony fans the. Let's see. Oh, these are links to other articles. Sorry. Miss Pelosi, the top Democrat in Congress, accused Mr. Barr of lying to lawmakers about his interactions with Mr. Mueller after the special counsel concluded his 22-month investigation into Russia's efforts to interfere in the 2016 U.S. election to boost Mr. Trump's candidacy. It's President Trump. Fucking author.
They love to use Mr. or just Trump. They have a really big problem with putting president before the last name. It's funny. It's funny.
Oh, ridiculous people.
And I really don't want to get started on the whole Russia thing. No, the United States is a republic, not a democracy.
Yep. So
But yeah.
I've got a few Canadian articles, so you
Oh.
guys can feel a little better about the ridiculousness going on in your country, and look at some of the ridiculousness going on in mine.
Mm. Yeah. Well, hey, eventually Trudeau's term will end, but
Eventually, yeah. We've only got a few more months.
hopefully, yeah. Does he have any chance of being reelected?
I don't think so.
Hmm.
The way he keeps going, he's he's really, really just fucking up.
Oh, I love your opinions.
So this first article is about two provinces in Canada that are fighting each other. You've got Alberta, who has all the oil,
Hmm.
and you have British Columbia, who is getting the oil from Alberta. Now, BC is an incredibly lefty province,
Hmm.
and they are all anti-oil pipelines, all this crap. So Alberta, the newly elected premier of Alberta, is now threatening to shut off the oil to BC.
Good luck.
Yeah, so this this is interesting. So as BC and Alberta prepare for a legal battle over oil, the future is uncertain.
Hmm.
Earlier this week, almost immediately after being sworn in as Premier of Alberta, Jason Kenney proclaimed that Bill 12, the so-called Turn Off the Taps law, um, it would give Alberta the power to slow down and control how much oil or gas is being given to BC in retaliation for the opposition to the Trans Mountain pipeline expansion. So yeah, the province of BC does not want this pipeline built.
Hmm. Well, provided that it's built with enough safety measures in, there shouldn't be any reason why I mean, if you don't have a pipeline, what are you going to have? Trucks? You know, and from what I've been able to see of the highways, I mean, I don't know. Do you guys have a whole lot of highways that traverse mountains and whatnot, like from a dangerous point of view, that would put more of a hazardous travel on? I mean, if you don't have the pipeline, the only thing you're going to have left is trains and trucks.
Hmm. Um, we do have a fair amount of um, mountain highways. We also have a few ice roads.
Ooh.
Um,
Oh, Skep says they want to shut
they
down the
what?
industry, no transmission at all.
Yeah, they do.
Wow. So how is BC going to get their fuel, their oil and
Um,
gas?
well, this is part of the reasons see, Jason Kenney is one of these guys, one of these politicians who is very unpredictable. He does things sometimes that make sense, and then he does shit like this.
Mm.
He threatens completely unfeasible things
Hmm.
because there's no feasible way you can shut off the power or the oil to another. Like, it's not really a feasible thing.
Hmm. Oh, yeah. I mean, you can't you can't have modern society without those
Like, you're gonna
particular.
start affecting your economy if you shut down the oil to the British Columbia economy, because now you're not nothing's gonna get shipped out of British Columbia
Right.
because there's not gonna have oil to do that.
Yeah, they gotta magically wave a wand and diesel fuel's gonna fill the tanks up magically. So, Skepdog says they can use wind power and sunlight and also Wakandan magic stones to power magic cars.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, because flying cars are gonna be introduced in British Columbia because they can't get the gas and oil from Alberta.
Meet George Jetson.
Yeah. Oh man. Can you imagine this world having skyways where people? I mean, if you thought the roads now were bad, imagine all those same people up in the sky driving cars around. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't understand where are they supposed to? I mean, has the gentleman decided we're on the other side of that decision? You shut it off. Where are they going to get it from?
Well, see, I don't know. And then it continued, this article continues on to say it's unfortunate to see two provinces that should be working together for the ultimate benefit of both not being able to do so, said Trevor Bolin, the leader of the BC Conservative Party and a city councillor of Port St. John. So this is a BC, and the Conservatives are not in power in BC right now.
Hmm.
But it's just kind of a remark from a conservative person to say, like, even he disagrees with what's going on. Fort St. John, like the rest of northeastern BC, relies heavily on the oil and national resource economy for revenue. For Bolin, that makes it all the more crucial to find a middle ground between the two provinces, stances. Which, yeah, it really starts to split the people of the province, and that's what we need to avoid, Bolin told CBC's Daybreak North. We need to find a common ground now that there is benefit for BC in the Trans Mountain Pipeline. There's benefit for Alberta, and therefore there is benefit to Canada. Yes. The minute Alberta does this, they start fucking everybody. They don't just screw BC.
So they're going to want to keep it all to themselves, and not just BC, but everybody else. Like, you don't get any oil if they don't get any oil, or is it just BC that they want to cut off, or are they talking about cutting off everybody
Yeah.
and keeping everything to themselves?
Skeptalk. Damn it, they promised me flying cars when I was a kid. Wikipedia snippet says, yeah, it's past 2000. Where's my flying car?
Flying cars now.
So let's see, and then they've got a picture of an oil tanker. So then the next heading in this article is tanker traffic. Bill 12 is not the only legal tool Alberta is threatening to use in support of oil. Premier Kenney has also stated he's ready to launch a constitutional challenge to Bill C-48, the federal bill that would prohibit tankers carrying more than 12 to 500 metric tons of crude or persistent oil from docking along BC's north coast.
Mm-hmm. I'm probably trying to avoid another Valdez.
Yeah. Gokwe, the council president of the Haida Nation, is in support of the native tanker ban because he believes it's needed to protect the traditional way of life as well as the environment. We're really talking about our home here. Haida Gwaii, the north coast, the oceans, they are all part of our traditional territory and homeland, said Goki, who also goes by Jason. It's a short-term view of economic benefits and jobs now at the expense of the environment, at the expense of the future. And then it goes on to say, does BC need the new refinery? For some, the answer is building an oil refinery in northern BC, foregoing pipelines and tankers. David Black, chairman of Black Press and founder of Kindle Matt Clean, has been pushing for a refinery along BC's coast for nearly a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would kind of help matters. If they could refine their own oil.
Right. Well, it would, especially if they've got the resources. I mean, do they have the deposits out there? I mean, or are we just talking about like pumping them just some standard crude and then just having them put up refineries only as opposed to just pipelining it over the mountains?
It doesn't seem to say.
Hmm.
They're just saying build an oil refinery.
Well, that would explain why they would take the ships out there, because if they don't want to move it over the mountains, then the only way that they have is bring it via ship. You know, build a
Yeah.
refinery on the coast, park the ships offshore, have them pump it into the refinery, and there you go.
Yeah.
But
That's all that's what I can see happening.
yeah, well, um, I honestly don't know much about the demographics, but how? I mean, Vancouver, in and of itself, is one of the largest cities in Canada, correct?
Yeah.
Um, so, I mean, what's as far population wise? How do the provinces rank?
Sorry?
As far as population goes, how do the provinces rank? Is Quebec number one or
No,
Ontario number
Ontario would
one?
be number one. I'm not sure what the I know Ontario has the most people.
Okay,
It's also the biggest province.
right.
Um, let's see. Uh, I really don't know.
Hmm.
Skeptalk is saying Alberta's got 5 oil refineries. They have more capacity than they could use. Yeah,
But they still want to hoard all the oil to themselves, then, huh?
yeah.
Or the refined stuff too. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's like, are they trying to? I just don't understand why they want to.
All
Uh,
this is a pissing contest.
exactly. And I guess that was the kind of the term I was looking for.
This is a pissing contest over oil and land,
Hmm.
and this is um, it's it doesn't make Jason Kenney look very good.
Well, Blind Girl saying native lands can't just have stuff built on it without native permission. Are there a lot of natives that are saying, "Hey, look, we can't. We don't want you on there"? I mean, how much is there a lot of native land that might have potential sources underneath that they're going to tap, or is it more along the lines of, "We don't want you driving your trucks over our reservations and potentially spoiling the land should something happen," or both, possibly?
I think it's a bit of both.
Okay. Well, if they in and of themselves are an autonomous nation, like some of the tribes in the United States are, do they actually own the land, or is it more Canada can just use a little bit of eminent domain and say, "Hey, look, there's the resources. This land is now ours. We're just going to take this stuff." You know,
Yeah,
I don't know if they have that ability to do so if the land is privately owned.
yeah. This is all this is Jason Kenney being a dick. This
Ugh.
is I don't think this is the way to go.
Hmm. Gotta love people. Well,
He's all over the news today actually because I've got a couple of articles.
oh, cool. Next.
Um, I've got this one which is oh, I thought I clicked on it. Silly me. Kenney plans to campaign against Trudeau but not use government funded ads. See, the thing about this is Jason Kenney's a premier already. Okay, he leads a province.
Hmm.
This is making it seem like he's trying to also run for prime minister.
Ooh.
That would be like a governor still being actively governor and saying, you know what, I also want to be president. That that just doesn't work.
Right.
I don't think you can do that. I actually don't think that you legally can do this.
Hmm. Well, he's gonna want to do it anyway, or he's gonna try.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So we've got a picture here of they're captioned of Jason Kenney and um, and Trudeau. Okay, so this title was very misleading because now it says that he wants to take Trudeau to court, not that he wants to campaign against him.
Hmm.
So let's find out what this author is getting on about.
Okay.
Premier Jason Kenney says that he'll go to court with the federal government if he has to, Cynthia Roback reports. Let's see. Oh, please tell me it's not just a video.
Yeah. Don't you hate
That would
those?
piss me off. Oh, nope, here we go.
Oh, good.
Prime Minister
Sorry about
Justin
that. That was my
Trudeau.
dog.
Oh, it's okay. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau meets with Premier Jason Kenney on his office on Parliament Hill in Ottawa. This comes after Canada's Chief Electoral Officer issued a reminder that the activity of provincial governments are not subject to that the activities of provincial governors are not subject to restrictions under federal law in light of controversy over Ontario Premier Doug Ford's gas pump stickers. So yeah, I don't know if you heard about the gas pump stickers in Ontario, but Doug Ford is requiring all gas stations to put a sticker on their pumps with a little bar graph depicting how much gas prices will go up now that the federal government has put a 4% levy against us for saying that the carbon tax is wrong.
That's like saying, guess what? This is how much you're going to end up paying soon. Ha ha.
Yeah. So this is Jason Kenney's response to the Election Canada's
Wow.
reminder to Ontario. The Elections Act does not govern the activities of provincial governments as it relates to federal provincial issues, said Elections Canada head some French person in an interview on Wednesday with CTV News.ca. A premier who wants to personally get involved in a federal election campaign pushing out election advertisements has to register as a third party unless the message is coming through government funded means. Kenney said that the government will be setting up what he calls an energy war room. Okay. To promote positive information about Canadian oil. He called this largely an advocacy campaign. So, what is he gain? Like, this is weird.
It does sound rather odd.
It's like he's campaigning, but he's not campaigning.
It's almost sounds a little bit conspiratorial.
It does. It's like
it sounds very shady, and
honestly, he's gonna wreck the federal Conservative Party's chances if he keeps this crap up, because it's gonna make people think that he and the leader Andrew Scheer are buddy, and that he's trying to help. Like, this is not smart. This is not a smart move.
No, it doesn't sound like he's really doing much to, other than maybe self-serving. Other than that, I honestly don't see where the possible strategy in this could lie.
Neither do I, honestly. This seems very, very strange to me.
And a little bit on the stupid side.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, though, it sounded very conspiratorial. I don't quite know what the angle is on that one, but I guess the only way to just let it play out and see what happens. But I don't know. Like I said before, I honestly don't know much about the politics, but it isn't all that dissimilar from some of the stuff that happens anywhere else. So, I'm
Seamus asks, what would happen if Alberta and such decided not to pay the federal levy and told the prime minister to go piss his pants? Well, see, the problem with that is it's not just the provincial governments that are paying this levy,
mm,
it's the individuals too.
oh yeah,
Every time you fill up at the gas pump, you are paying physically more money now because you are stuck paying what we have brilliantly. Our province decided to do what's called a harmonized sales tax.
Ugh,
So they've lumped in the federal goods and service tax with the provincial sales tax and you pay one lump tax now. And they said, "Oh, it's all great. It's still going to equal the same taxes that you were paying before,
right,
but now we have to pay like the feds will get automatically a cut
right.
of every individual tax.
Well, I
So
can.
it's not just the provinces that are paying this levy."
Right. Well, I can answer part of that question by saying, what's the prime minister going to do? He'll go on an apology tour and say, sorry, sorry, we have to spend, or yeah, sorry, we have to charge you more money, but sorry, but not sorry.
Oh yeah, W.R. Costin says don't forget the heating oil. The carbon tax is on that too. Yes, for your
Wow.
furnace, for
No
your
kidding.
natural gas. Yeah.
Yeesh. No, I've I've got a lot of contempt about this lovely thing called sales tax. I mean, they already tax you making the money, and now they're taxing you to get rid of money.
Yeah.
So coming and going, gotta love it.
Income tax and sales tax. Yep.
Yeah,
Gotta love it.
yeah. I used to live in a state that had no sales tax, and moving from a state with no sales tax to a state with sales tax, I always got used to paying what was on the thing, and now it's like you have to pay this plus another 4, 6% or whatnot. And some things aren't taxed, some things are taxed. It's it's really 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 weird. And I used to actually live in California when I grew up in California, and they have sales tax on everything. I mean, anything you buy is taxed. Whereas in Michigan here, it's certain things are taxed.
Right.
Um, it's I don't know why. I mean, I don't honestly don't know about the law about that, but it's just weird the way that certain taxes. And yeah, Mr. Misanthropic says taxation is theft. Yes, I completely agree. That is theft. And um, back, this all started around when the Federal Reserve was created, and Woodrow Wilson. God, I hate that guy. That was probably the worst decision he could have ever made, is pass the Federal Reserve Act. But
Yeah.
um, that's when all these taxes started. Taxes, if I recall correctly, with some of the things that I've read in the United States, taxes were only supposed to be for corporations and companies, not by the people in and of themselves. But that changed several times. I mean, this is something I'd probably like to talk to Skep about, because he probably know a lot about this too. But yeah, taxes are just weird now. For everybody taxes everything for every reason, and what's next? They're going to tax air. you
Yeah.
know, you came into our country, we have to charge a tax for your air. So,
Yeah, all you need says here because he's Canadian too. Here everything is taxed just about everything is taxed except for food.
right.
Yeah, groceries are not taxed.
I think that's the way it is here in Michigan. In Michigan, you're like the food, like prepared food, that is taxed. Like if you go to like a fast food restaurant, or something, that's taxed. But like just the food itself is not. Like
Yeah,
the grocery food is not.
yeah.
So that's similar to here.
Mr. Misanthropic says Woodrow Wilson was the worst president we've ever had. Changed my mind. What
You ain't gonna
about
get,
Taft?
you'll get no argument from me.
What about Taft? He was pretty bad.
And we won't say Obama, but
That's racist. Can't say Obama was a bad president. That's racist.
I know you can't say that. That's way racist. Obama being the worst president. Oh my gosh. I don't know if he would be the worst, but he would definitely be on the list of my top 5. But yeah, and I watched that. Gosh, I don't know if you were familiar with that, but maybe our listeners would be. I think it was the Learning Channel.
Yeah.
They did a special called "The Presidents," where they kind of talked about everything else, and they made Woodrow Wilson, the Federal Reserve, the best thing that was ever to happen. And like, wow, really? Yeah, okay. At any rate, they made the presidents look so great, yet some of them were not so great. But that's neither here nor there. But go ahead and continue. I didn't mean to get off on a tangent there.
No worries. Oh my goodness, I'm still recovering.
The cough is the worst. That's what usually takes the longest. When I have a cold, the cough is the last thing to go.
Yeah, it's been a bad one.
Right.
So let's see. This article says Perot says that the federal position over the decades has been that the third-party regulations, which applies to any person or group that is not a registered political party that conducts partisan activities during a federal election campaign, do not apply to provincial government advertising campaigns.
Hmm.
Okay. However, each province does have its own restrictions on the types of advertising they are able to engage in using public funds. Makes sense. Under federal elections law, third parties have to register with Elections Canada, report their contributions, and adhere to spending restrictions. So he is not allowed to run as a conservative.
They
If
just kind
he
of barred him from it completely.
Well, under these laws, he has to register as like an independent,
Hmm.
like a independent
Right.
party. He's not allowed to say, I'm campaigning as a conservative.
Hmm.
Like he can't try and unseat Andrew Scheer as opposition leader,
Right.
for example. He has to be an independent, which basically means that there's no possible way he can win because nobody's going to throw all their votes behind an independent.
Right. Well, I don't know. Would he have much to back him up, though? I mean, if he did make himself an independent party member, or at least run as such, would he have much traction?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think I don't think he's got to focus. He just literally last week got sworn in
Oh, okay.
as the premier of Alberta. So he's got a lot of stuff to worry about in his province.
Yeah.
Um
It'll keep him busy for a while.
yeah, so I don't know what he's thinking.
Hmm.
So this says Kenney has signaled his intent to create an alliance of conservative premiers who are opposed to the federal carbon tax. It's yet to be seen how this opposition, which favors federal conservative leader Andrew Scheer's plan to scrap the carbon tax pricing scheme, will play out during the fall federal campaign. In a recent interview on CTV's Question Period, Kenney said that he would be doing whatever he could to ensure that a federal conservative government is elected in the fall. Much of his provincial campaign was spent attacking Trudeau and vowing to fight the federal government on a number of matters. So, yeah, this is his way of trying to help the federal Conservative Party, who doesn't need it.
Mm. Well, the fact that they're targeting Trudeau, though, is not such a bad thing.
No, but I think that this could actually take away.
It could hurt the Republicans in the long run by taking votes away from them, yes.
Yeah, it could make Canadians look at this and go, well, this is stupid.
Well, also, I mean, they have the same. It looks like they have the same outlook on things. Yet one of them still wants to be. One of them is already the representative of the Republicans, and then you have another gentleman who's like, "Hey, I want in there too, but I can't. So I'm going to make my own party. I'll take my followers here. So that's going to be that person plus all of his followers less. They're going to be voting for the other guy."
Yeah.
And I have no idea how popular Trudeau is on the left side. He's probably their true God and savior, but um,
Well, even like he lost a lot of party members during the whole scandal with the French construction company SNC-Lavalin
oh,
because they he wanted to cover up the fact that they had contracts in Libya and was being before he died had been funded by Muammar Gaddafi.
right.
Um, and his own Minister of Justice was saying, no, you need to get the national police involved in this.
Mm.
And he was like, no, 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 that's not good. And if you know what's good for your career, you'll stop saying so.
Right.
Hello, chat. Hello, Moonshot. Good to talk to you.
Hey,
You are an evil bitch who left me no coffee.
Paula.
Sorry, I love you too.
Wow. That was unexpected, but awesome.
That's Pink Hollow.
Oh, man. I'd love to have a conversation with that guy.
Yeah, Pink Hollow is funny. He's a funny, funny guy. He doesn't believe it, but he is.
Oh, yeah.
I am not a fun guy. I do not stick to trees.
That's a total dad joke.
Uh-huh. I'm just waiting for him to do one more. Come on, give us.
No, he just left.
Okay.
He just left. He had to go back to work.
Oh, that's funny. He's like, here's my little exclamation point at the end of the sentence. Pink Hollow, Pink Carlo. Skip says Pink Carlo.
That's Pink Hollow.
Oh, that's good. He's a funny guy. No, to return to the subject quickly, it's sort of like what Jill Stein did to the Democrats in the last election. Either blaming her that she pulled so many votes away from the Democrats that, oh, this is why Hillary lost because Jill Stein, blah, blah, blah. Anybody can do whatever they want. Let them, if they want to run, let them run. But
Yeah.
they also have to think about the repercussions of doing that. If you are on the side of the right or the left, and you want that side with similar mindsets, if you know that your running is going to hamper that side's victory, why? Just because you want to fulfill your own potential of, hey, look at me, I made office, but you got 2% of the vote or less. But meanwhile, you stole so many votes away that this other person who had the better chance of winning lost.
Yes.
Where's the defining line that says don't do it because if you do, this person or this party's going to lose? You know that, go in there knowing that you're going to have a pretty good group of constituents that are going to be able to convince people, say, hey, look, this person is going to be better than this person. And if you have a chance of, or if you know that you've got a chance of winning, fine, go for it. But if, Green Party got very, very few votes.
Yeah.
And what kind of a chance in hell do you even have of winning over, it's in this country, it's always going to be Republican or Democrat. It's never going to be anything else. You're never going to see some of these other folks and you see these people running. What is the point?
Well, it's the same in Canada. It's always going to be either Liberal, Conservative, or New Democrat. But the Green Party got a seat at the debate table in the mid 2000s.
Right.
And it's like, why are you here? You're
Yeah.
not gonna ever win anything.
Like,
They always win like 10 seats
yeah, yeah.
in the fucking House of Commons. It's like, why do you bother?
It's like no power, but hey, look, we're still here.
Yeah.
You know, it's that one kid that you never want to pick, yet still always going to be there anyway.
Yes.
So,
I suppose we better pick Timmy.
here's some props for being here, but now you can go away. I'll see you next election.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's basically it. I mean, other than stealing, well, not really stealing, other than siphoning off votes that would normally go to this other candidate, I honestly can't see them winning. So, yeah, the Green Party is like the Queen Mother in England, forgotten but not gone.
Yeah.
And Wikipedia says, Timmy!
Timmy!
Timmy! But yeah, that's, I don't know. Politics really isn't my thing because I tend to get a little bit more opinionated about some people than others. Don't
Yeah.
you look at me like that. I was looking right in her eyes when I said that. She just kind of got that look of like, oh, really? But yeah, I tend to stay away from politics as much as I can. I let other people. Don't look at me like that. I do. I don't voice my opinion much more than I have to because I just don't feel like I need to. Everybody else is already saying it. That's basically it. And to kind of segue a little bit, that's also the reason why my channel's got no videos, because anything that I have to say, everybody's already talked about.
Yeah.
And I feel I make videos, people are gonna be like, okay, yeah, I've already heard it, already seen it, already done it. But people are like, oh, who cares? Make them anyway. I'm like, okay, sure, but I'm too lazy. But so, I think I'll get around to it eventually, but I think I've got a whopping 9 subscribers. Woo! But that's why I make dash cam videos. Oh yeah, that's one of the things we also like watching too, is the dash cam videos where you just videotape all the idiots out there.
Yep.
And she likes watching more. My wife likes watching those. I'll just sit back here and listen to the people getting all crunched up and banged up in their cars. But
Yeah, Pinkalo has gotten into the Reddit videos lately.
right.
Like the r/entitled parents,
Oh.
r/malicious compliance, stuff like that.
Yeah, I have recently subscribed to some of those other ones that they're like the Ask Reddit ones, where they ask them certain questions, and
Yeah.
people that have had the best or the most popular responses, they just put put all those together in one big collaborated video. Those make me laugh. I love those. And they don't always have the same subject. It's just this subject or that subject, and it's they use like a robo reader, but it's like this British accent. This guy's got a British accent, or the reader has a male British accent, and the way that he reads it is just so deadpan and funny. Like they'll be telling a hilarious story, but the way that this guy just kind of reads it deadpan, and then that's it. And he switches to the next story. It is just it is quite funny because you don't expect to hear a deadpan delivery of such a story.
Yeah.
And then you hear like what would be considered the punchline of the whole thing, and then he just moves on to the next one. And there's like no, you laugh, but by the time you're laughing, he's already moved on to the next one. So give me a chance to laugh here. But he's like, nope, I'm just gonna keep talking. But yeah, those are I agree though. Those are some of the better ones too. What's this? You start fresh r/a Naz Media. Oh, and also Salty Reddit. Those are the best ones that are on there to go right now.
I like the or Pinkalo says that's why I make dash cam videos. Yeah, he has his dash cam up when he drives. And he just put out a couple of videos called Lessons with Karen. And it's like, you know those women that you just look at them and you're like, oh, your name is Karen.
You look like a Karen. You're a Barbara.
Yeah. And it's just there's two of them so far. One of them is how to turn into active traffic. And there's shows a woman who just literally drives into active traffic. And then there's another one who's like walks across the street with her kid when it's a green light for Pincalo and not like she waits for her green light to stop.
Wow.
And
Karens are the worst, says Mr. Misanthropic.
yeah.
Well, yeah, and some of those videos that I've seen, these people are just going through the normal, and then all of a sudden you see the car just spins because they get T-boned by somebody going through a red light, or you see somebody stopped at a red light, and then someone just, as they're turning, they get smashed into by somebody who's coming the other way. I just don't. People are either not paying attention, or they're too distracted by phone, or both, or fall asleep at the wheel. Who knows?
Yeah.
The favorite ones, though, I love the Karma Cop ones. Those ones are my favorites. If you've ever heard that term, though, the Karma Cop, that's basically when somebody does something illegal and there's a cop that's sitting right there and they don't even see him. So they'll like zoom by somebody going really, really fast. Next thing you see, the cop turns his lights on, goes and pulls him over. So
That's awesome.
yes, that's hilarious. It's just that's probably my favorite part of any of those driving videos. The crash is not so much. I feel more sorry for the cars than I do for the people. Because you see when you get a car get smashed in, and it's like, what did that car ever do? It's just being driven by an idiot. So crash videos are nice, but they're overdone. With me, I like to show the near misses, the shit that could have almost happened, and other shit that makes you shake your pants, like the roundabout one. Oh, roundabout one?
Yeah, he does. There's a roundabout one. It's
Really?
called Your Moment of Pucker. It's like a few seconds long, and
Moment of pucker.
and he has to stop because he gets cut off, I think.
Oh, that pisses me off.
And so he gets cut off in the roundabout, and he has to slam on his brakes. And in the back seat, all you hear is our son Alex go, "I'm okay."
It's like automatically trained to say I'm okay if something happens. So it's like,
Oh, that's
"I'm
what he
okay."
does. That's what he does. Like he'll fall over and he'll be like, "I'm okay."
That's hilarious. No, roundabouts, they put a lot of those. Mega Driving School, yeah, Duck Dog, we actually watched that one. But yeah, roundabouts they've put a bunch of those in around here. And it's almost like these people, they've never seen one before. So they're like, what do I do? The signs are right in front of you, people. Read what the signs say and then do what the signs, do what the signs tell you to do. That's not that deep of a concept here to understand. Hey, look, you go on the outside if you're going in, and if you want to move, you turn your signal on. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. People that don't use their signal when they change lanes or turn, I hesitate to use the F word. I'm not going to, but that really fucking pisses me off. I almost wanted to say fuck you, but I don't know how many people that we have that are listening that don't do that. But it's like I've always used mine. My wife always uses hers. But people here in Michigan, they are holy shit. It's like the concept of turn signals just doesn't even compute with them. I mean, a couple of days ago, somebody swerved right in front of us, cut us right off without any signals.
Here it's in around where we're living, it's people don't give a fuck about crosswalks.
Oh, here too.
We live in because my son's school is directly across the street, so our house is in a school zone, and we've got the crosswalk at the end of the street, and people just blow by.
Wow, what, really?
Oh yeah, the speed limit is 40 kilometers an hour, which is I think probably around 20 miles.
Yeah.
So you slow the fuck down when you're in a school zone.
Seriously.
And people will just blow by, or they'll see people stand there have been many times where I will be standing at the crosswalk holding my son's hand with my cane in plain sight, and people will just blow right by the crosswalk, and it's like,
Asshole.
Yeah, no shit. I feel like yelling. I feel like in A Fish Called Wanda. Asshole.
Oh, if I ever pass somebody and I hear cocksucker, I'll think, I know that person. It's like, you motherfucker, I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I screamed at somebody once. I was going to pick up my little sister from like a gymnastics day camp,
Mm.
and we were crossing the street, and some dumbass decided, I don't care that it's green for the pedestrians. I'm still going to turn.
Oh yeah.
And I start screaming at the guy. I'm like, you're a blind person and a little child here. What the fuck is wrong with He's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, oh, shut up and pay attention to what you're doing.
Like, the hell, you're sorry. You did it intentionally. Well, I guess we have. I mean, there are here. This is like the city south of us. They have crosswalks that are within maybe 50 feet of each other, and the short amount of road between. This person he just casually walks right in front of us, crossing the street without even looking, and we're like, really? Seriously, you're going to walk right in front of us? And he doesn't even look at us. He just keeps walking.
Well,
Right.
that's amazing.
Seriously, how fucking stupid are you? You're crossing it, and you have crosswalks. That's why they're there. Use the fucking crosswalks. Concept not difficult to understand, people. Crosswalks. See those two little parallel lines that go across an intersection, or you have the ones that have the many multiple parallel lines. Use those when you cross the street. But yes, Stray says, Mel, use your goddamn blinker. Yes, I agree. Use turn signals and use crosswalks correctly. And if you see the thing that says don't walk, or you see a big red hand that says don't walk, don't fucking walk.
Yeah, I know, right?
But-
Piccolo says, I'm going 120 kilometers an hour. You do the math.
I guarantee you that a human body is going to lose a battle between it and a car.
Yeah.
Unless you want to be a fine crimson mist, I would suggest that you use a crosswalk. Yes, that's the worst part of living in a college town. They act as if cars aren't a thing. Yeah, that too. Oh, especially back in Oregon and Portland, they have bicycles all over the place. Bicyclists are the worst.
And they're on where I am, they're always on the sidewalk and they don't move.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but out there though, they're on the road and they act like they're cars, even though they have their own bike lane.
Yep.
But they act like they're cars. They don't go as fast, and you're sitting here. Speed limit is 40 miles an hour. You're behind a bike doing 20.
Yeah.
You're like, get into your lane, please. I'm not gonna get mad, but come on, I can share the road.
Oh, I get so mad. I'm like, get in the bike lane. They're like, but it's safer on the sidewalk.
No,
Like,
because you have pedestrians.
not for you or not for me, it's not.
Yeah, especially with a cane too. You got to be careful, people. You know, goddamn French.
Somebody actually rode on my cane once
Seriously?
with a bike.
Wow.
So I stuck my cane in their spokes.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. That's very childish, but goddamn if I don't like that. You have my my support on that one, my friend. But yeah, I don't agree with people that bike on the sidewalks. You know, they have, you know, use the shoulder or use, you know, because a lot of cities are also going into what used to be like a 2-lane road. Now they're turning into a 1-lane, but they're adding a bike lane there as well.
Yeah.
You know, so you're like, okay, so traffic's going to get even worse because we can accommodate a bike lane, which I'm okay with that, provided you have enough bikes to use said bike lane. But you got to weigh the good with the bad here.
Yeah.
You know, bike lanes are great and they'll follow the rules of the road, provided they follow the rules of the road. But at the same time, you're going to be pissing off a whole lot of people. You know, there's more cars on the road than there are bikes. Well, depending on the country you're in, of course. But
Pincalo says they're getting rid of bike lanes where we are, which is true. And they're changing to multi-use sidewalks.
Multi-use sidewalks, huh?
Yes, they're going to make pedestrians and cyclists share the sidewalk.
Ugh, is that a good or a bad thing? Raising Cain.
Yeah. Oh, I've used my cane many a time as a weapon in my life.
Hey, if you gotta, and that's the most available weapon handy, might as well. It's like, what happened to you? I got my ass beat by a blind person's
Yeah.
cane. And they'll be like, okay, case dismissed.
Well, that's what happened the one time that I got called into the office
Yeah.
in 6th grade. I beat up I at on school grounds, I beat the crap out of a kid who was doing a lot of really bad stuff to me that I won't go into.
Being a douchebag, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was a kid who, since 1st grade, every year had at least a couple of suspensions.
Oh, one of those.
Very often was in detention. So by 6th grade, when he and I had to go have our stuff settled, like they had to move him to the other 6th grade class.
Damn.
Because he couldn't be in the same class as me anymore.
Oh.
He was like, she beat me up. And I did, right? But they didn't believe him because A, I had never been in trouble in school. Not that I had never been bad, I just never got caught, right? So I never been in trouble. I usually, my grades were always good. I didn't cause trouble in class.
Right.
So when he was like, she beat me up, they were like, yeah, okay. I'm sure she did.
Well, look at the welt marks on the cane. Do they match the welt marks on your body?
Yeah, that one I didn't use my cane for that one.
Oh, nice. Good job. I mean, wait, no, I guess I shouldn't be.
But
Just never got caught. Wikipedia snippet
Yeah.
says.
see, and my friends at the time, my friends would always, oh, you're such a wimp. You're not going to do this with us. I'm like, no, I'm just not stupid.
Right.
You guys go ahead and you get caught and you get in shit. I'm going to be over here.
Well, right. And that's the thing too. You got to make sure that if you want to beat somebody's ass, make sure that nobody sees it. Because beating somebody's ass is a spectator sport. Sorry about that. To adjust my mic a little bit.
Yeah, no worries.
But yeah, I was never a fighter as a kid, but I knew a bunch of people that wanted to kick my ass for I have no idea why. But yeah, it's just one of those things. There's always going to be douchebags around, and I'm actually happy to hear that you got yourself a couple of bams in there. That's
Well,
cool.
I was never a starter.
Oh, but you're a finisher.
I'm a finisher.
Oh, that's awesome.
And when we got out of the office, because my mom had been called in,
Right.
and when we got out of the office, she's like, "You beat the hell out of him, didn't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Good,"
I support that action.
because she knew that he had started it.
Oh.
She had always raised me that if I start anything, I may as well just not come home because I'm gonna die. But if I finish something, if I've tried my best, like if nobody's helping me and like I've tried my best to avoid the situation and I end up having to finish something,
Right.
she will defend me to the end.
So what you're saying is, as Grillin Pirate Peters says, so when a fight starts, you see the finish him like in Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
So when you're done with him, it's a fatality.
Blind press wins.
Right.
Fatality.
Hey, that works. See right there, Mr. and Mrs. Black says, blind press wins. Fatality. Or in your case, would it be a brutality? You kill him, but you just beat the crap out of him enough to,
I'm still trying to figure out whether it's worth buying MK11 just to do a review. I think I think the only way I'm gonna end up owning that is if it goes on sale because I'm a PlayStation Network member.
Oh yeah.
So they get like they give out deals on stuff sometime, like monthly.
Oh, cool.
Every month there's a set of games that are either free or a few like 50 or 60% off. That's how we got MKXL actually.
Oh, okay.
It was on sale for like $7. So it was like, well, we may as well.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'll spend full price to pay for
Pink Hollow says it's not worth buying MK11 to do a review.
it's not
Well, from everything that I've seen and heard, I mean, I've seen some of the videos too, and it's like might as well just call it SJW11 instead of MK because
yeah.
it's
And the game mechanics look really slow. Like as I've been, because I watch GameSpot Live TV,
Mm.
and they've been doing a lot of King of the Hill online matches,
Oh yeah.
and it seems like the game mechanics are a lot. It reminds me of Tekken.
Yeah.
Tekken's a lot more slow
Right.
in its game mechanics than say Soul Calibur
Mhm.
or previous Mortal Kombat games.
Yeah.
And it seems a lot more easy.
It does, doesn't it? It just seems it doesn't seem to be as organic as 10 was or 9. I loved 9 and 10. Those are awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
I love I love XL. Mortal Kombat XL is great.
yes.
I
agree.
love the fact that Jason is my favorite guest character.
Oh yeah. I liked let's see. I loved when they added Predator to it. That one was cool. Or yeah, when Jason too. Jason was awesome. He just chopped somebody with the with his machete. Oh, God. I watched all of those too. Oh, I ended up I'm also one of those folks that will actually watch somebody play a video game for 8 hours
Yeah,
straight.
yeah,
I love LPs, especially the Final Fantasy ones. But when I watched somebody did an LP of XL, I looked at the fatalities one like that is fucking awesome.
yeah,
And some of them are just so goddamn brutal, so much more brutal than like some of the previous games. I mean, when you saw like the first one was just like ripping somebody in half or ripping their spine out. Now they're just pulling eyes out and then putting gum in where the hole used to be. Or wasn't that the Johnny Cage's? I'm not quite sure what the relationship was, but the female Cage character, she
Oh, Cassie is his
yeah,
daughter.
didn't she shoot somebody in the forehead and then she put her gum in her forehead
Something like that. Yeah.
and then the blood filled it and it popped?
Yep.
Some of those they're so inventive. So inventive about their fatalities in those, and I mean, they just made me laugh. I mean, none of them made me go, "Oh, that's gross." They just made me laugh. So,
Aliens is pretty awesome.
Alien is good too, yeah. And didn't they put in Joker? Or
No,
is that one of the other?
they put in the 4 guest characters in MK11 were Jason Voorhees, Predator, Leatherface, and Alien.
Okay, okay. Oh, the Joker must be from another one because there was another one that included fatalities in it.
Or they may have the Joker as like a DLC.
I do. All I remember is it might have been like Marvel versus something else. I think that's what it was. But one of the fatalities or the finishing moves had Joker pulling out a trick gun where it would say bang when he pulls the trigger. Then he'd laugh and then he'd pull out a real gun and shoot somebody in the head with it.
Yeah.
And he'd laugh. That was probably one of my favorite ones from that one. But yeah, Sub-Zero has the best fatality. Nothing beats ripping the spine out.
Yeah.
Oh, some of the answers are just. I like the one where Johnny Cage. What is he? He
They did a
pulls out your spine.
crossover between DC and Mortal Kombat, says Armskiller.
Yep,
Okay.
that's the one. It wasn't Marvel. It was DC. But my favorite one was when Johnny Cage. He breaks your spine and then he goes, "Here's Johnny."
Yep.
That one was a good one. And Katana was that one good? Yeah, yes. Lindsay, she's referring back to Mortal Kombat 2. That was probably one of my favorites as well in the
Yeah.
whole genre. I loved Katana's fatalities. She would kiss when the person would just blow up. But my favorite move in the whole series is when Johnny Cage punches somebody in the nuts. It's unique only to him, and just the just seeing him, he just go splits and he pops you right in the nads. That alone, ow, that's just cringy watching.
Yeah.
Because I know that originally, obviously, he couldn't do it for the women. All he would do, he'd just go down into the splits, but the punch wouldn't come out. But I don't
Yeah.
know if they made it for everybody later in the series. But all I know is all I can remember is just when he did that, the people in the series, they just went, oh, they just kind of doubled over. But you could never punch Goro in the nuts, though. That's one thing I never.
I hate Goro
He was
so
too.
much.
He was so fucking overpowered. I mean, one of his punches would take half of your injury off. You're like, what the fuck here? I just started and I'm already getting my ass kicked.
Oh my god, I get to freaking I do the towers.
Hmm.
And I go through all the other ones, no problem, and then I get to Goro, and it takes me 20 goddamn minutes to get through Goro.
Hmm.
And then I get to Shinnok, and it takes me another 20 goddamn minutes to get through Shinnok. Because you get a combo off on him, and then he uses magic on you.
Right.
And it's like, oh, you piece of crap.
But yeah, it's. I mean, I can understand being bosses. You obviously give them more attack power, but goddamn, at least making it a little bit winnable.
Yeah.
But no, I've never played the games themselves, but except for, let's say, I think I stopped playing at 3. Like, I mean, that shows my age too. But it was
I played
Ultimate
when I
MK.
was like 5.
Ultimate MK3 was the last time I've actually physically played a Mortal Kombat game. All the
Yeah.
others I've watched others play it, but there's also like a fan made one.
I didn't know that.
There was a fan made one that introduced a bunch of new characters, and on that one, Hydra was my favorite one. You remember Sector and Cyrax, the robots, like
Oh,
the cyborgs.
yeah.
They're from number 3. This person or one of the fan maids, they did a palette swap. They made Hydro almost like a light bluish kind of color,
Okay.
and what basically he's kind of, it looks like he's short circuiting all the time because his normal stance is he's just kind of sitting there like he's dazed and he's got lightning coming around him. One of his fatalities is that it'll say finish him, and then he'll just jump at the person and just explode. So basically he's killing himself and the enemy at the same time.
That's
So
great.
it was awesome. It was awesome. That one made me laugh so much. I just had to pause it and laugh because I just couldn't stop laughing. But yeah, some of the fan made ones are really, really good. But yeah, I would actually say my favorite character that I played regularly in Ultimate MK3 was Noob Saibot. That was probably my favorite one.
Okay, so Noob Saibot is a return character
Hmm.
because he's back in MK11.
Yes, yes. He's much more demonic now than he used to be. He was just like a palette swap shadow, but now he's something much, much more. But yeah, I also like Kintaro. Kintaro was also one of my favorite bosses. Lindsay says, I love Cyrax and Sector. It's Sector, Sektor. But who cares? I don't care about spelling. I know exactly who you mean. The gold and the red, see? The cyber ninjas. But yeah, then they also made Smoke, who is gray. And anyway, I'm going to go all geeky on you. So how dare you make me go geeky on video games?
So
No.
I have a quick article about turtles
Oh, my
to,
wife loves turtles. Go
to
ahead.
round off the stream.
Go for it.
So let's see here. The title is uh, Reptile Gardens more than doubles its giant tortoise population.
Nice.
So Samson is the newest, full-grown Alderbrow tortoise at Reptile Gardens in Rapid City. Samson is 30 years old and weighs more than 500 pounds. Holy
Whoa.
fuck.
Is he one of those like Galapagos tortoises? Like the really big ones?
Yeah, it's gotta be I think it says giant tortoise.
Damn. Those are
So Terry Phillip, the head curator of Reptile Gardens, feeds cantaloupe to Samson. Okay, so there's a picture of him feeding cantaloupe to this.
giant turtle.
And then they've got a picture of a baby tortoise. Um, they've got a lot of pictures.
Cool.
Answer a survey. No, I don't want to answer a survey. Go away.
Do you love those, the ones that pop up and say, "Hey, look, if you want to read the rest of this article."
I just want to read this story about the damn turtles.
Sorry, but you're not I have to make sure that you take the survey before you do
I can't let you read this, Dave.
that.
That's what I'm getting right now. Well, apparently there's a whole bunch of new giant tortoises, including a 500-pound 30-year-old tortoise in Rapid City.
Nice. That's great. It's about time that they finally made a comeback.
There's actually a guy who lives near my grandmother's place. She lives across town from us, and he has 2 tortoises. I think they're tortoises. And he takes them out actually and walks them in the
Walking
neighborhood.
That's funny. How do you get them to go along though? That'd be something to wonder. How do you
I
do
think he had them for a long time, and
Hmm.
he gets like, I guess he kind of rescues like people. I guess people who have thought that it would be cool to have a tortoise as a pet,
Okay.
and then realize they get really big. Um, so he's like a reptile guy.
Yeah.
So it's really cool that like the kids really like the neighborhood kids really like to come and touch the turtle's shell and all that stuff. Doc Griffin says, "Wait, do I have to drink coffee to watch this show?" No, as long as you imbibe some sort of caffeine.
I said yes, or you have to pay blind price.
Yes, either that or you either have to drink coffee or donate to the Streamlabs. No, you don't actually have to do either of those things.
I
You
was kidding. I was
you
kidding.
can drink Coke or tea or hot chocolate.
Uh-oh, wait a second then. Wait, if this is a caffeine imbibing stream, then I guess I better take my leave because I can't have caffeine.
Oh dear.
No, I'm actually allergic to caffeine. I can't
Oh,
have
that
it.
sucks.
No, it actually I get the opposite effect, and
Oh,
it causes my heart to go into to AFib.
oh, fun.
Yeah, I
That's
learned
always
that I
fun.
learned that the hard way 2 years ago. 2 years ago. I used to have a really bad Mountain Dew habit, and so many
Uh-huh.
people say that too. Um, and on top of that, I had some dental work done, so they used a bunch of that epinephrine
Yeah,
in their shots. So
yeah.
I had a combination of a ton of caffeine and a ton of epinephrine, and my heart just started beating out of tune. So yeah, I went to my cardiologist, and he said, "Okay, so went home with one, blah blah blah." Ultimately, he figured out that caffeine is something that I can't have anymore, so I have to do caffeine-free whatevers. So, I love drinking tea too, but caffeine-free tea, and those bastards charge more for it too.
They do.
That's BS. You're charging more for less. Got it. A reptile
Oh, Doc Griffin says I've been caffeine free for 20 years. Well,
Uh-oh.
decaf will suffice.
20 years of Streamlabs, there you go. A reptile dysfunction is when you turn big and green and trash the place. That's inventive, I like that one.
Is that what happens in reptiles' fatalities?
Yeah. Better he swings around something massive and it ain't his fists. Or would that be called a sexuality? Oh, that's an NC-17 game right there. But we won't go there. But no, on the turtle story, that's actually great. I'm glad that they're actually doing what they can to help them out. Um, my wife, she's more into the sea turtles than the regular. But I mean, all of them are fine. But she's anything that I've ever got her like turtle themed has been more on the sea turtle kind of thing. I've got her. Let's see, the first time she came out to me, I got her a sea turtle shaped plush from the
Aw.
Oregon Coast Aquarium. So let's see, and I won her. Oh, we went down to what's that amusement park called? Cedar Point, and one of those guess your birth month.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I couldn't guess mine, so I went on another turtle there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm cool. I'm really happy about that story. So it's a feel good story at the end of the stream.
Exactly. I figured that would be, even though I couldn't read the whole thing.
I was like, oh, you got to pass, or you have to take a survey. What does a survey say? Hey, did you read our article? No. Okay, fine. It's like one question survey that just says, did you read our article? No. Get me back to it now. Or on those surveys, some of the ones that I like the most are when they say, please give us your opinion on this. So I just go into a big diatribe about how stupid I think the survey is.
Doc Griffin says, wait, reptiles live in trailer parks? It all makes sense now.
The dairy industry is like that. Manufacturers buy milk according to milk fat, so they love to sell low fat and fat free products. Yeah, agreed, WR. But thing is, I am more of a 2% on the milk, but if I could, I would totally do the whole milk. I love whole milk itself. I grew up on non-fat. That's like white water, but low fat is okay. But I like the whole milk myself, especially if I'm at a Mexican restaurant. Oh yeah.
That's all we buy because our kids are 4 and 2.
Oh really?
So they just drink whole milk, and
It tastes better.
It does, and it's awesome. It's almost like having low-fat cream in your coffee without having low-fat cream in your coffee.
What is this low fat you speak of?
Because they sell that low-fat crap with
yeah.
aspartame and all this wonderful stuff.
That's another thing. I hate fake sugar. I cannot anything with NutraSweet, anything that kind of crap. I can't drink. It's just nasty. Just nasty. But yeah. Hey, if it's about 2, I mean, if you wanted to call it quits, that's fine. I mean, otherwise.
Yeah, I was about to say, chat, if you guys have any final thoughts or questions, and now is your time. We're gonna go for another 4 minutes until we hit 2 o'clock. So yeah, if you guys have any stevia, I haven't tried stevia. Doc.
No, nor have I.
I've heard that it's not too bad. I've tried Splenda and I cannot stand Splenda.
No Splenda. No. I sound so good. Thank you. I think. I appreciate that. Maybe we'll have a stream together, Skep. Feel free, if you want to, anytime, man. We can talk about fun stuff.
I've got to watch my Star Trek episodes.
Oh, that was another thing I want to ask you about. On your Star Trek streams, I am a total Trekkie. I could easily do one of those with you. No problem at all. So if you ever wanted to have me on one of those, I would love to.
Well, that's awesome. I will keep that in mind for sure.
Yeah, so that would be awesome because I've got a lot of things to say about that, both good and bad. Like opinions, of course.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Lindsay. She says it was a fantastic stream.
Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you. Lindsay, if you're not working some Friday, I've got to get you on.
Yeah.
So we can nerd out about Evil Dead. She's a... Oh, shit, the actor who played Chewbacca died.
Yeah, Peter Mayhew. Yeah, he died yesterday.
Rest in peace, sir.
Indeed.
Rest in peace. I may be a Trekkie, but I still appreciate the old Star Wars.
Oh, answer a question, Martin H. Do you like Data from the Next Generation? Yes, I do. He was one of my favorite characters.
Who doesn't like Data?
His childlike demeanor and just honesty for everything. Especially when he gives like time references, like 2 years, 3 months, 23 days, 16 hours.
There's even a scene where he doesn't do seconds, and Riker's like, "What? No seconds?" And he's like, "I didn't. I've noticed that humans get impatient when I."
One of my favorite ones from Riker is when he's in that. Remember when he's in that that kid is controlling everything around him, his environment.
Oh yeah,
and Picard's starting to say something, and Riker just goes, "Shut up!
Shut up!" Yeah.
Picard looks at him like, "Excuse me, what did you just say to me?" But yeah, that was one of my favorite lines from that entire series too. Is just
Yeah.
hearing Riker say "Shut up" to Picard. You're like, okay then.
Yeah, that's how you knew it wasn't Picard, because he just shut up.
Yeah, he just kind of shrugged, like, okay. But yeah, and the David Warner episode was a good one too when he played the Cardassian that tortured Picard.
Oh,
See, told you. Shut up, Wesley.
shut up, Wesley. Yes.
All right, it's been a good stream. Thank you
It
very much.
has. Well,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you came on.
Hey,
And
not a problem. Anytime.
thank you so much, chat, for coming out and listening to us. Moonshock, if you have any links that you want people to come to follow you, you can put them in chat. If you are still having your GoFundMe,
I
feel
do.
free to put that in chat as well.
I do. Just give me a moment. Quick.
And while Moonshock's doing that, please come and watch tomorrow for the Star Trek stream at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. We're discussing the two-parter Past Tense from Deep Space Nine, Season 3, Episodes 11 and 12.
There's my GoFundMe there, so if anybody would like to help out with my cancer costs, I would appreciate that. No obligation, absolutely none whatsoever. So you don't have to if you don't want to, and I don't mind if you don't, and if you do, great, thank you, but you don't have to.
No, yeah, it's completely voluntary, guys, but the
So-
link is there if you do feel of a mind. I do thank everyone for coming and watching. Thank you, Moonshock, for coming out and having this awesome conversation.
Thanks for having me.
And with that, everyone, I hope you guys have an amazing day, and we'll see you all tomorrow for Star Trek.
Indeed. Have a good day, everyone.